My fiancé persuaded me to go to a hotel room with him. Afterward, he started showing off to his buddies. She was like a dead fish, not as adventurous as Chloe. If her family wasn't rich, I wouldn't even sleep with her for free. His friends even mocked me, saying I was less charming than a girl from a nightclub. Clutching my phone, I trembled uncontrollably, then turned and canceled the engagement and married someone else. On my wedding day, Kyle blocked my wedding car, begging for my forgiveness. I frowned. Your moves are so predictable and uninteresting, not stimulating at all. The text messages on my phone made me tremble all over. 20 minutes earlier, while I was cleaning up, Kyle had taken pictures of the blood-stained bed sheets and my naked back, then posted them in the group chat, showing off. Claimed a conquest. Immediately, the group erupted in cheers. How was the heiress? Kyle, like a dead fish, not as adventurous as Chloe. She's got a good body though, won't get tired of her anytime soon. Maybe can teach her a few tricks later. Chloe was his ex-girlfriend. They had loved intensely and broken up dramatically. But looking at the screen full of discussions, I felt utterly devastated. How could he? Shaking with anger, I looked at the sleeping man, my eyes welling up. Just minutes earlier, he'd been holding me intimately, yet afterward, he'd hidden in the bathroom to loudly discuss the details. He even wanted his ex-girlfriend to teach me. What did Kyle take me for? I stared at the glaring red on the bed sheets. Just as I was about to leave, Kyle rolled over and hugged me, muttering, "Grace." My heart twinged. He was the first man I'd been intimate with. Since childhood, I had been taught to be a good girl. I conformed to expectations, never daring to cross the line. But with Kyle, I fell hard. I took a deep breath, about to wake him and get an explanation, when he spoke again. "You're still the most uninhibited, Chloe." Kyle's renewed mumble. "Ing" struck me like a thunderclap, jolting me awake. Chloe. He was sleeping, yet still thinking of his ex-girlfriend. I couldn't hold back any longer and slapped him. Kyle woke instantly from his sleep. Before he could question me, a piercing phone rang. Kyle came to his senses and answered, becoming nervous. "Okay, I'll be right there." He hastily got dressed, giving me instructions with his back to me. "Something came up at the company, so I have to go. Remember to wash the bed sheets. Also, I took precautions, but it's not 100% foolproof. Go buy some emergency contraception and take it. Don't cause any trouble." The trouble he spoke of, was it a child? I picked up the blood-stained tissue from the floor, a bitter laugh escaping me. "Grace, you're so pathetic." I threw the tissue to the ground in a fit of pique, got dressed, and left. As soon as I got home, Kyle called. "Grace, why didn't you clean up?" They all saw it and asked if I brought a woman back. "Why can't you think of me? Everyone at the company is saying I rely on women." I couldn't help but scoff. Kyle wanted to distance himself now? He forgot that if it weren't for me, he wouldn't have secured those projects at all. My knuckles white, I gripped the phone tightly and replied, "Isn't that true? What are you denying?" At that moment, I heard a woman's voice from his end. "Kyle, can you grab the hairdryer for me?" Kyle immediately panicked. "I'm busy, gotta go." He hung up hastily, his panic and nervousness confirming my suspicion. That woman was Chloe. My heart sank. This was the Kyle who had constantly professed his love for me. I should have come to my senses long ago. William had warned me back then, dating is fine, but for marriage, you need well-matched families. If you've truly decided he's the one, then a prenuptial agreement is essential. At the time, I thought William was being overly worried, but I never imagined it would become a self-fulfilling prophecy. Kyle came looking for me the next day. He invited me to lunch, and after much consideration, I agreed. He chose a restaurant far from his company, which was really just a diner. It was peak dining hours when we arrived, but the place was almost empty. "Kyle, alright, you actually brought your girlfriend." As soon as I got out of the car, a girl with short blue hair bounced over from a distance. She wore a tank top and shorts that accentuated her figure. Kyle let her link her arm with his and said to me, "This is my friend, Chloe. This diner is hers. Come try it, a hole-in-the-wall diner can have good food too." Kyle's explanation made me nod. I smiled at Chloe, but a flicker of hostility crossed her eyes. She turned and went inside, pulling Kyle along without a second glance. She completely ignored me, who was still outside. Watching their backs, I found myself amused. Chloe was treating me like an imaginary rival. Not to mention that Kyle and I were currently dating. What was she doing inserting herself between us? Furthermore, I was a customer, and as the owner of the diner, she wasn't attending to guests and was acting like this. Normally, I would have just left, but today I wanted to see what she was up to. Once inside, I looked around. The floor was relatively clean. Since there weren't many customers, there was only one server, Chloe, and the cook. As soon as Kyle sat down, Chloe rattled off 4 dish names without asking my preferences. I knew your old favorites hadn't changed. I already had them prepared. I couldn't help but chuckle. Chloe looked at me. What are you laughing at? I'm a customer too, shouldn't you ask for my preferences? Kyle frowned. I forgot. Grace can't eat green onions. Change it to a savory eggplant dish, and seasonal vegetables, and add a spicy fish stew. Chloe scoffed softly and turned to leave. Kyle explained, she's just like that, don't mind her. I nodded without speaking. A moment later, the dishes arrived. I looked at the green onions piled high in the dishes and couldn't help but frown. Kyle asked, what's wrong? The heiress wouldn't look down on our little diner, would she? Of course, you used to eat at Michelin restaurants. It must be hard for you to humble yourself and come here. Hearing sarcastic and passive-aggressive words, I simply put down my forks. I told you beforehand I couldn't eat green onions. Was this intentional? If I eat it and collapse in your diner, it'll scare away the few customers you have, and then you'll have to pay for my medical bills, which wouldn't be worth it. She choked on my words, her face instantly falling. With red-rimmed eyes, she linked her arm through Kyle's. See, I was just joking with her, and she's cursing my business to close down. Kyle, your girlfriend is so formidable, truly an heiress. Enough. Kyle patted her hand and turned to me. Grace, you too. She's trying to run a business, and it's not easy. She didn't mean it, why say such ominous things? Apologize to her quickly. Me apologize to her? I couldn't help but laugh, infuriated. You eat it yourself. I stood up to leave, but Kyle grabbed my wrist, his face grim. Grace, what's wrong with you? From the moment you walked in, you've been giving me attitude. Do you look down on me, deliberately trying to embarrass me in front of my friend? It's fine, Kyle. She's an heiress, a little diva-like attitude is normal. It's my fault too, I forgot to tell the cook. This one's on me. Kyle saw her expression and, meeting my gaze, couldn't help but blame me. Today, for Chloe's sake, I won't argue with you. Come here, eat the food, and I'll pretend nothing happened. I was somewhat astonished. Kyle, are you serious? You know I'm allergic to green onions. Alright, so what if you're allergic? Just take some medicine, you won't die. Why are you being so dramatic? Kyle impatiently cut me off. This was completely different from how attentive and doting he had been before. Had he stopped caring once he had me? Thinking of how he and his friends talked about me in the group chat, I suddenly felt a chill in my heart. Meanwhile, Chloe said, alright, don't argue over me anymore. I know our little diner is quiet and doesn't have many customers, but the cook's skills are excellent. It's fine if the heiress can't eat it. Kyle, it doesn't matter if she doesn't give face, but you must eat. Kyle, however, wouldn't give in. He firmly grabbed my hand, picked up a forkful of eggplant covered in green onions, and shoved it into my mouth. Eat it. Grace, don't throw a diva-like attitude with me. I've already told you, if you want to be with me, you need to change that temper. The moment the green onions went down, all my secret affection for Kyle vanished. He then poured a mouthful of green onion soup down my throat. I choked, but managed to swallow some, and my face immediately flushed. Kyle looked at me with disdain. See? You're fine. Alright, don't be like that, why be so rough? Chloe deliberately linked arms with Kyle, coming over to mediate, but then she bumped into me, knocking me to the ground. A sharp pain shot through my palm as the rough stones on the ground scraped it. Chloe, however, blocked Kyle's view. Kyle, you rarely come by, don't get mad at her because of me. You should pamper your girlfriend. You don't understand, I just can't stand her diva-like attitude. Her usual obedience is all an act. At that moment, my throat felt swollen, and I couldn't speak. Clutching my neck, I reached out towards Kyle, but Chloe stepped back, her foot stomping directly on my hand. The pain was so intense I couldn't breathe. I heard Kyle's disdainful mockery in my ear. I still want her to stay here for a few more days. You two should exchange text messages and chat properly, and help me train her. Hearing his voice, I felt nothing but disgust, my face burning with a hot flush. A fire surged within me. I couldn't make a sound, couldn't support myself any longer, and collapsed. In a panic. Only then did Kyle see me. Seeing my pale face, he became scared. Grace, what's wrong? Allergic reaction? It can't be that severe, can it? Chloe tugged at him. Kyle, what do we do? She can't die in my shop, or what about my business? I clutched Kyle's clothes. Hospital. As was about to pick me up, Chloe stopped him. Kyle, if you take her to the hospital, and her family comes after me, won't I be ruined? Her family is very rich. My heart was pounding, but I couldn't speak. Suffocation enveloped me. I couldn't hold on any longer and lost consciousness. When I woke up again, I was in the hospital, and Kyle was by my side, his face pale, with several clear handprints. I turned my head. William then walked in. Seeing, he said coldly, "You, out." Kyle didn't dare say a word and quickly left. Seeing's gaze, I also didn't dare meet his eyes, only looking away. He shook his head. "I told you long ago, this man is unreliable. If I hadn't seen your location in such a desolate place, I wouldn't have sent the driver over. Thankfully, you were rescued." Only then did I realize it was William. "Kyle even forcibly tried to take you away, to prevent you from going to the hospital. Grace, you've disappointed me so much." "William, I'm sorry. I won't be like this again. Please arrange a strategic marriage for me. He doesn't deserve to be my husband." William frowned deeply. After a long silence, he said, "As long as you've thought it through, I'll arrange it for you as soon as possible. As for Kyle, you should resolve that quickly." "Okay, I will." William called a nurse to look after me, then hurried back to the company. No sooner had he left than Kyle walked in. He was somewhat scared and hesitant. "Grace, I'm sorry. I didn't realize your allergy was so severe. You thought it was just a rash on my face that would go away with some medicine? Who told you that?" "Kyle, I told you on the first day we met that I was allergic then too. Do you remember how you let it?" Back then, he had been so nervous, quickly taking me to the hospital. Only when I was out of danger did he sigh in relief, tilting his head and looking at me. "Eris, please don't bother me anymore. You're so delicate. If anything happens, I can't bear the responsibility." At that time, I was actively pursuing him, and I thought Kyle was just being tough on the outside but soft on the inside. He clearly cared about me but pretended not to, yet his actions showed he was very concerned. I plunged headfirst into it, disregarding everything else. Later, I learned it was just wishful thinking on my part. Once he had me, he stopped caring. I don't know if I was too foolish, or if his promises were too easy. In any case, I fell for it, but I was wrong. If you make a mistake, you face the consequences, and I accepted that. At that moment, Kyle looked at me with shame. "Don't worry, I'll compensate you well." "Compensate me? Fine, I'll wait for your performance, Kyle. Show me your sincerity." I had always been a good girl, but I wasn't without a temper. He always said I had a diva-like attitude, and I truly could get angry. Kyle thought he could just appease me. He spent every spare moment with me for the next 2 days, but his phone was constantly busy, receiving countless text messages and calls. I didn't even need to look to know they were from Chloe. She must have been having a hard time these days. While I was hospitalized, Chloe's diner wasn't peaceful either. Various inspections and complaints arrived as promised, keeping her exhausted. She had to face them daily, unable to open for business or pay wages. Chloe could only turn to Kyle. I also waited for Kyle to bring it up to me. After a week in the hospital, I was finally discharged. The first thing I did back at the company was reallocate all of Kyle's client files. His resources were originally given by me. Now, I was taking them all back. When found out, his clients had already cleared it with me. He immediately came to find me after hearing the news. "Grace, what do you mean by this? These are all clients I meticulously maintained. You just took them away." I looked up at him. "If I'm not mistaken, these were originally assigned to you by me. Now, I'm simply taking them all back." He immediately grew angry. "What do you mean? Burning bridges?" I suddenly laughed. "Kyle, which of these clients did you acquire yourself? Your qualifications aren't sufficient to handle such high-end clients." Kyle smiled bitterly. "You wealthy heiresses, you're so capricious. I finally understand. You just want to teach me a lesson and get back at me for your allergic reaction, right? I was wrong, isn't that enough? Didn't you say you'd wait for my performance? Grace, are you not even giving me that chance?" I smiled sweetly. "Kyle, was it fun sleeping with Chloe?" The several uncensored videos I received on my phone were all sent by Chloe. On the very day I was hospitalized for my allergic reaction, Kyle made an excuse about buying me food, was gone for 2 hours, and returned with wet hair and the scent of shower gel on him. I didn't expose him. I simply ate the food the nurse brought, leaving him ignored. Kyle apologized, saying a car had splashed water on him, and he didn't want me to see him in such a mess, so he showered before coming over. I didn't dwell on it, because half an hour before he returned, I had received a friend request from Chloe and her provocative messages. I hadn't bothered to respond, so Kyle naturally didn't know that he had no chance left with me. At my words, Kyle's face momentarily froze, Then he angrily retorted with a guilty conscience, "Is that what you think of me? She's my ex-girlfriend, we're ancient history. Grace, I know you're insecure, but I'm serious about you." Even now, he wouldn't admit it. If he had just openly admitted to cheating, I might have respected him more. "Kyle, I overthought things." Hearing this, his eyes lit up, but why next words instantly stunned him. "I originally thought of giving you a chance, but you shattered my last illusion. My heiress ways are not adventurous and rather uninteresting. It must be troublesome to have to ask your ex-girlfriend to teach me properly. You and Chloe booked a room at the hotel, room 356, for a week, by the hour. Do I need to remind you?" The moment I finished speaking, his face turned deathly pale. You spied on me." "No, Chloe sent me the videos." "Kyle, let's break up." He quickly came forward and grabbed my hand. "It's not what you think. Chloe got me drunk, no need to explain." I pulled my hand away. "Kyle, I know you like to play around, and I know you've never been able to let her go. I'll grant your wish. From today on, no one will hold you back, and I won't be a burden to you. Go ahead and brag to your buddies about which woman is uninhibited with you, but it won't be me." Kyle immediately panicked. I pushed him out and had my assistant supervise the handover. There was no reason for me to keep such a person by my side. Just thinking about the things he said to his friends that day, I couldn't look him in the eye anymore. Kyle didn't make a scene. He knew my temper. After the handover, he stood at the door watching me, finally being escorted out by my assistant. After he left, the assistant came over. "Eris, this is what Kyle asked me to give you." He handed me an envelope. I didn't even look at it, throwing it directly into the trash can. For a person like him, he was just a stain on my past. I would treat it as if I had been bitten by a dog and would have no further contact with him from now on. However, Kyle didn't end up with Chloe after he left. Instead, he sent me long, rambling text messages every day. I was so annoyed that I blocked him. But a week later, Kyle was waiting outside my house. He couldn't get into the gated community and stopped me at the community entrance. Seeing him, I subtly frowned. "Why are you here?" I know I was wrong. "Grace, I thought I loved Chloe, that I couldn't resist her wild and passionate nature in bed. But after we separated, I realized that it was you I couldn't let go of. Grace, can you give me another chance to pursue you again? This time, I promise I won't disregard your feelings. I'll always put you first." So, Kyle knew. Unfortunately, his previous declarations of putting me first were just an act, and now I couldn't be sure if he was the same as before. I shook my head, saying nothing. Kyle blocked the car. "Don't worry, nothing will happen between us. We've had a thorough talk and won't have any contact from now on." I took a deep breath. "Kyle, we're over. I can't be as uninhibited and open as Chloe, so I can't satisfy you, nor can I discuss intimate details with your friends. I saw the pictures you took of me and all those text messages. I can't bring myself to forgive you, otherwise, I'd be betraying the genuine feelings I once had." Kyle was about to explain when Chloe's voice came from behind. "Kyle." She rode up on her motorcycle. Seeing me in the car, she looked down. "What's so great about her? An heiress has one allergic reaction and acts like she's dying, playing hard to get. Aren't you almost done? I know you're upset about me and Kyle being together, but we're just buddies, and that's all in the past. You shouldn't hold me and Kyle responsible for so much. You two should be fine without worrying about my feelings." With that, she was about to leave, but Kyle smelled alcohol on her. "You've been drinking? Chloe, are you crazy? Drinking and driving, aren't you afraid of getting into an accident?" He gripped Chloe's hand tightly, but she forcefully pulled away. "None of your business. Who are you to me? Why are you so controlling?" Kyle grabbed her wrist. "I'm your, what?" Chloe tilted her head, looking at him, her eyes sparkling. I really didn't have the energy to watch them enact a drama for me, so I told my driver to just leave. Kyle then realized the purpose of his visit. Seeing me about to leave, he immediately tried to chase after the car. Unfortunately, Chloe suddenly stumbled against him. Kyle, left with no choice, turned and held her, watching helplessly as I drove away. My heart remained utterly unfazed. Meanwhile, William also found a strategic marriage candidate for me, Mr. Julian, the second son of the Jiang family, whom we already knew. People in our circle were all clear-headed. Mr. Julian and I met once, and he quickly produced an agreement and handed it to me. "I know you don't have feelings for me, and I don't have feelings for you either. Our strategic marriage is for mutual benefit. We can divorce in 3 years, is that acceptable? We can sign the divorce papers now." I scanned the terms he presented, finding nothing objectionable after a careful read, so I nodded and signed. Mr. Julian is a sensible person, so I won't beat around the bush. A strategic marriage between our two families must be a win-win. As for the collaborative projects, we'd like 3. What do you think, Mr. Julian? Certainly, anything within my authority can be fulfilled. Additionally, the West property can also be given to you. In that case, it would be rude to refuse. I knew what that property meant to William. As long as the objective could be achieved, anything was acceptable. Moreover, Mr. Julian was offering such a significant profit, so naturally, I agreed. News of the strategic marriage between our two families was immediately announced. I only saw Kyle a week later, specifically online. He and Chloe were back together. Not only that, but they had started a live stream, tearfully accusing me of ruthlessly destroying them. They claimed I had made it impossible for them to continue running their diner. Chloe sat in the diner, which was empty except for her and Kyle. No other customers. Please, heiress, because we offended you before, you're ruthlessly destroying us. We calm. Mon folk are just trying to make a living. Your family is wealthy and powerful, and you've already announced your strategic marriage. We just want to continue living. Kyle, with red-rimmed eyes, hugged her, addressing the camera. I know I wronged you, but you've already had your revenge. You fired me, kicked me out of that company. All my years of effort are gone. Now, we just want to protect this small diner. Please go easy on us. We truly won't do it again. Once this news broke, netizens racked their brains to find the truth. Some even dug up Kyle's previous photos with me on social media and, linking them to my newly announced strategic marriage, pointed directly at me. Even Julian was affected, with many people commenting on his platform, Mr. Julian, think twice. This woman is not to be trifled with. She forces people into a dead end if she doesn't get her way. If Julian is taken advantage of by her someday, it won't be good. I quickly called Mr. Julian. Just as I started to speak, I heard him say, I have eyes and a brain, I can analyze things myself. You don't need to tell me anything. Just let me know if you need anything at all. The family's PR firm and legal team are not to be underestimated. I laughed, feeling reassured. No, I'll handle it myself. Good. Contact me anytime if you need something. With that reassurance, I didn't hesitate to file a police report, outlining my experience at the diner that day. Coincidentally, when my driver came to pick me up that day, he was looking for directions and happened to meet a young woman passing by the diner. She had filmed a video and given it to the driver. It proved useful now. First, I wasn't deliberately trying to undermine you, you nearly killed me. Second, your hygiene and fire safety were subpar, and the relevant authorities were simply performing their duties by inspecting you. Third, the food at your diner is truly terrible. If you have no customers, look for the reasons within your cell. B.S. Finally, Kyle, I don't owe you anything. Please tell the police why you caused me to be hospitalized. I look forward to your explanation. After I released this, public opinion reversed immediately. Oh my goodness, this is attempted murder. They knew she was allergic, yet they still tried to make her eat green onions. For someone with an allergy, even a tiny bit, if they come into contact and aren't rescued in time, they can die. It's lucky the heiress had good fortune and her driver found her, otherwise, she might really have been killed by these two. That owner looks like she's not to be trifled with, doing catering with blue hair and dressed like that, trying to hook up with someone? Fun fact, they're exes. A good ex should be like they're dead. Now they're popping up, like zombies. I think these two have been up to no good for a long time. With public opinion reversed, the two quickly deleted the videos. Kyle was still taken away by the police because he forcibly fed me an allergen, causing me to be rushed to the hospital for emergency treatment, which was an undeniable fact. As for Chloe, she also had to take responsibility, as she knew I had informed them but still intentionally added green onions. Rats abandoning a sinking ship. Originally, I couldn't control their mouths, but unexpectedly, the kitchen staff, whose wages she had docked, reported her online in a fit of rage. Chloe also didn't expect that she could have walked away but stumbled by something small and unexpected. She withheld 300 yuan of the kitchen staff's wages, and he directly reported her to the police. Chloe was also detained, and legal consequences awaited both of them. 3 months later, Mr. Julian and I got engaged. While greeting guests at the hotel entrance, I saw a familiar figure, Chloe. Seeing me, she immediately rushed forward, her eyes filled with undisguised resentment. Grace, you must be so pleased with yourself. You're the one who ruined us, you'll get Your karma. Chloe's diner was closed, and she was heavily in debt. After being detained for 3 months, she emerged with nothing, only to see news of my engagement everywhere. In a fit of anger, she came to cause trouble. Before she could even get close to me, the bodyguards grabbed her and threw her out the door, then filed a police report. Chloe, who had just been released, was taken back into custody. Kyle was also sued by my legal team for aggravated assault and sentenced to 1 year in prison. This made him fall from grace. A year later, our collaborative projects achieved unprecedented success, with profits doubling. The wedding date set by our two families arrived, and with the wedding imminent, I was incredibly busy. The first thing Kyle did after he was released was call me. I didn't answer because I had changed my number. He staked out for me outside the company building, but I didn't show up because I took the elevator directly from the underground parking garage. He staked out for a few days, returned empty-handed, and then never showed up again. Mr. Julian was very busy, but he fulfilled his responsibilities as a good husband, returning every day to have dinner with me. Sometimes, we would chat about interesting things that happened during our day at the dinner table. Seeing my distracted expression, he asked, "What's wrong? Thinking of your ex-boyfriend? Knowing he's out of prison today, so you're worried?" With him being so possessive, I playfully chided, "What are you talking about? I'm just worried he might come back for revenge, since things ended on a bit of a bad note between us. You don't have to worry about that, our security team on the wedding day will be very strong." I nodded and didn't say much more. On the wedding day, I saw a familiar figure flash through the crowd, but it quickly disappeared. It wasn't until I was changing in the dressing room that I found the door locked from the inside, and a figure suddenly appeared from behind the curtains. I was startled. Seeing, I was somewhat astonished. He had lost a lot of weight since I last saw him, looking utterly dejected, no longer possessing his former glory. When he saw me, Kyle's eyes were filled with affection. "Grace, you're so beautiful." I was wearing a mermaid wedding dress, which Mr. Julian had specially custom-made for me in Europe. I instinctively stepped back 2 paces. "What do you want? How did you get in?" The words had barely left my lips when I realized Kyle was wearing a hotel staff uniform. His voice was sorrowful. "Grace, I was blinded by foolishness. I actually believed Chloe when she said that you, an heiress with so much experience, would definitely get tired of me, so she told me to act indifferent. I'm just a community college student. And I went through a rebellious phase for a while. I thought that kind of me would attract a good girl like you. So I pretended to be wild. Now I know I was a jerk, and I pushed you away with my own hands. Grace, can you forgive me? Let's start over. I don't care, I can even be your secret lover." Kyle's words were truly bizarre. I couldn't believe he was still thinking of being with me now. I felt disgusted and also found it laughable. "What makes you think I can't live without you? You're already mine. If finds out, won't he despise you? Your virginity and he didn't finish his sentence. I slapped him hard. "A woman's honor is not defined by her virginity. Do you know how disgusting you are? Only you would treat a woman's virginity as conversation fodder, or even leverage. You've never changed. A year in prison hasn't made you reflect. I know. But I just can't let you go. Please, please, give me one chance, okay?" I remained unmoved. "Julian will be outside the door soon. If you don't want to be arrested and face another term in prison, I advise you to leave right now." "No, Grace, I know you hate me, but I was the first man you've been intimate with. Please forgive me. I can overlook everything. I can become a house husband." His words made me unable to help but laugh. "Become a house husband?" "Yes, I can become a house husband. Whatever you want me to do, I'll do it. You handle things outside, I'll handle things inside. Every day, I'll prepare meals and wait for you to come home, okay?" I never imagined he could say such things. It was truly baffling. Did he just want to live off a woman's money? I shook my head. "No, Kyle, we're already past that. I'm looking forward and won't look back, and neither should you." He refused to accept it, his face instantly changing. "Why not? I only made one mistake, and you treat me like this. You're mine, you'll always be mine, don't think of leaving me." Seeing his crazed look, I couldn't help but feel a little scared. Just then, Mr. Julian's voice came from outside the door. "Grace, are you ready?" I was about to answer when Kyle clamped his hand over my mouth. "You'll be mine your whole life. You are my bride today." I struggled desperately, my mouth covered, unable to make a sound. I fumbled for the liquid foundation on the vanity table and slammed it hard against the door. "Grace!" Mr. Julian instinctively sensed something was wrong and broke open the door in a few swift moves. Kyle dragged me towards the window, terrified. Kyle, stop. How much money do you want? I'll give it to you. Money? Haha, my life has been ruined by you people. What good is money? I want Grace. I was the first man she was intimate with. If you marry her, you're just playing with my old shoe. I was enraged, my eyes red, followed immediately by a heavy punch from Mr. Julian. He rescued me, kicking Kyle away. Only an old-fashioned brute like you would constantly talk about a woman's past. No matter what Grace's past is, I've decided she's my wife, and I won't dwell on it. You, on the other hand, constantly profess your love for her, but when have you ever respected her? You're pathetic. Mr. Julian's words surprised me somewhat. But then I thought about it, and indeed, Kyle had never respected me. Later, whether we were dating or became intimate, he always wanted to be in control, asserting his superiority in the relationship. Julian was different. He respected me. More than that, he wanted us to move forward together. It seemed William's judgment was more reliable after all. I hadn't made the wrong choice. Kyle was kicked to the ground, a trickle of blood escaping his mouth, and his face turned pale as he heard Julian's words. I shook my head, looking at Kyle in that state. The police arrived shortly and took him away. Kyle was crying and laughing. Grace, I was wrong. I've disappointed you again, haven't I? I'm so stupid, so incredibly stupid. He was dragged out by the police, and I was still rattled. But I quickly relaxed. Kyle's arrival hadn't ruined my good mood. Instead, it had made me see Julian more clearly. I hadn't expected him to be so skilled. Julian was now tightly squeezing my hand. You looked really handsome when you burst in just now. I gave him a thumbs up, then took his hand and walked towards the wedding altar. A strategic marriage wasn't bad after all. Julian was not only handsome and gentlemanly, but most importantly, he was even more skilled and must be in excellent physical condition. On our wedding day, I changed into some lingerie, a gift from my best friend, who said it would help me create a beautiful memory. After hesitating for a long time, I finally appeared before Julian, still dressed. I could clearly feel his breathing quicken, and then he embraced me. Is this okay? I shyly nodded, then suddenly remembered something. I'm not a virgin. It's okay, I'm not either. Don't worry about that. The most important thing is for us to be harmonious and happy, that's enough. As I moved with him, I felt that life was wonderful. It turned out I didn't have to be a good girl after all. Conforming to expectations and embracing passion are simply two different facets of human nature, existing in the diverse tapestry of life. I would stay true to myself. For now, no need for divorce. Thank you for watching today's story. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and share it with your friends. We look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comments. Feel free to share your perspectives, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more exciting stories. See you next time.